Welcome back to Dying Out Loud, a space for conversations we keep putting off. The words that we swallow, love that we can assume to wait, the things that we always think there will be another moment to take care of. I'm Kris Saim, I'm your host, and I'm here to tell you those things can't wait. Life is too fragile. It's a breathtaking, beautiful miracle. And every second that we spend holding back, that's a second we will not get back. This isn't a show about dying. It's a show about refusing to die with your gratitude, your love, your appreciation, all of those things still inside you. Because one day, the words that you meant to say, those words are going to turn into echoes. And one day, the hands that you meant to hold, they won't be there. So, this is my invitation to you to live louder, love harder, and say those words today, right now, while you still can. Join me and my guests each week as we crack open our hearts, share our scars, and celebrate the people who make this short, beautiful life worth every breath. My guest today is my good friend and colleague, Julia Laszlo. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Julia is a leadership coach and she's the founder of Ananda Experience. After spending years climbing the corporate ladder, Julia found herself quietly burnt out. She was questioning the very definition of success that she had pursued. Her journey took her all the way from Hungary to Texas during a profound personal loss and transformation. Through mindfulness, nervous system healing, and inner work, she reconnected with what had been missing, her Ikigai, her purpose in life. Today, Julia helps transform leaders from performance obsessed leadership to human centered leadership, rooted in purpose, presence, and well being. She empowers leaders to lead with alignment, prioritize what matters most, and she builds cultures where people thrive. If you've ever succeeded on paper, but felt a disconnect on the inside, Julia is the guide who can help you come home to yourself. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you. That was a beautiful
Oh,
intro.
awesome. We'll have just a little conversation today. And I want to start off with like first impressions. Think back to when we first started working together. And I'd love to just know what your first impression of me was.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the very first time I actually remember this, I remember where I was sitting. I remember how it happened. The first time we got on a call, it was over Teams. And you were actually recommended to me by one of our leaders in the company. And she said, I think you and Kris are going to hit it off. You're going to become really good friends. And I think each one of you could benefit from each other's coaching. So I got on a call with you and you were all smiles and you were like, so here's my story. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, please share. So you shared your journey with cancer and how you got diagnosed and like how all so you started with this crazy open heart that invited nothing but like openness and happiness and joy from me. We started off by, I'm like, okay, so we are diving right into the depths. And I'm like, okay, I can share things too. So you started the relationship off from vulnerability and this like authenticity that you don't see much in, especially in the corporate world.
I love that. I actually recall that meeting very well. And I just remember being so impressed with you. And just as I learned more about you and the move from Hungary to the United States and your experience living in Austin and then coming to the East Coast, you just had such a wealth of experience and personal things that just resonated so deeply with me. When did you figure out that we were becoming close friends?
I think you sharing something like that personal, it set us up for that track. I don't remember exactly the time that I was like, "Oh, okay, he's my friend," but I do remember moments where your friendship like really showed up in big time. And one of those moments was when I was having a meltdown at work about a situation, and I felt that it was very unfair, that usually it very deeply triggers me when something is unfair in the world and not just with me. And I was having a very strong reaction, and the only person I could think of to call was you. And you picked it up outside of work hours, and you listened to me for an hour crying on the phone to you and explaining it and telling you about everything, and all you had was like this warmth and support. And so to me, that was I think that was one of the moments that was like, okay, he's not just a coworker that I like, not a cowork like a work bestie. You're an actual friend. Yeah.
I remember that phone call. I remember the situation vividly.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that probably was the catalyst also for me, like thinking, oh, this person really trusts me and values the relationship that we had been building. So I remember that. I do think because it was shortly after that, I think that you got married. And then
Remember.
I got married, I
Yes.
think, after
Yeah.
that as well. So we've both experienced
And we both
plenty
showed
of
up
life
to
changes.
others' weddings.
That's right. I had to show up to yours virtually,
Yeah.
but I loved being
Yeah.
there. And you actually got to come. That was the first time we had even met in person, I
Yeah.
think. We met
We
the
met,
month before that,
yeah, we met in
actually.
New
Yeah.
York before.
That's right.
Yes.
So we had not even sealed the deal, and
Yeah.
here we were already including each other in these major life events. And I think that's such a testament to how easy it was for us to build a connection, and that is obviously something that I've held on to really tightly for really for the duration of these last through 3 years.
That's when I met your parents,
That's right. That's right. You did. Oh my gosh.
your
That's so
family.
funny that
Yeah.
like one of the first couple of times that we actually got to be together in person, you actually got to meet my entire
Yeah.
family. That was your chance to run, Julia, and you
Yes.
decided not to.
No. No. I like your families.
And they like you as well. So I have thought a lot about what it looked like getting back into work after being gone for medical leave and the people that obviously I was able to have connections with. What, as you look back over the history of the time that we've spent together, is there anything that from our unique friendship that you've learned or that you've just tucked in the back of your pocket? This is valuable and I just want to hang on to it for a while.
You mean something you said or something you did?
Or an experience that we had together, something that just resonates with you that you're like, this is something I want to hang on to.
There are so many. It's hard to pick one. I think going to your wedding was definitely one of them. Our weekly calls, whenever we like the way we combine like updates from our lives and with work related things, and we are so connected at work, like projects wise, not just as people, but we're also really connected and collaborative anyway. So I think what I is definitely like staying with me no matter what is that balance, because as a leadership coach, this is actually what I would like to inspire in other people, that like how do you find that balance when you're not just about business and you're not just about people, but how do you combine the two? How can you be, and it's possible. We are living proof of that, right? So it's possible to combine both and show your humanity while getting results. So I think that's the biggest thing that comes to mind, that we set a good example, even like unconsciously. Like it's not a conscious decision we made, but it's okay. We want to be doing that because this feels right, and it feels authentic and like trusting and
Yeah.
like kind. And the other part that The other thing that comes to my mind is the many times that you have had to go through like chemotherapy or some kind of treatment, and my like the way I showed up for those moments and how we connected through that, and how many times you reminded me of, okay, the problems that I think are super big are very little, very minor, and they're probably not going to matter in not only in a year, probably in a month. It's not going to matter. So that's also something. Yeah.
It's you hit on so many things that I feel so strongly about. One of the things, and I know I've shared it with you before, in addition to just showing up for me, especially in light of those things, the chemo tests, or the chemo treatments, the lab tests that come back less hopeful than I wanted them to, and just knowing what a constant cheerleader you were for me, not only in my health, but also at work, and representing me in rooms or at tables that I'm not sitting at, or in the rooms that I'm not a part of. And all of that support just means so much to me. And I think it's been such a good like anchor for me as well, because having people like you in my support system, it kind of fuels the energy, the way I'm able to show up every day, and embracing like my transparency and authenticity. Those are things that some people run from. Not everybody wants to engage and know those sort of details about someone else's life, but because I am a frequent talker and a pretty open book,
Yeah.
it's part of how I show up every day. And you've just done a great job of really embracing that part of who I am. And also in the process, we've been able to really create like these cool moments of just lightness when everything could be so heavy. And that ability to find like moments of joy, or even when we're coaching each other and we look for those little sparks of hope or those glimmers, I think that you're one of those folks that I know can always help me put my thoughts into perspective. And that has definitely been a source of allowing me to not spiral out of control, which in my previous life, I definitely probably did more often than not. And to be sitting in a place now where my stress levels are so reduced, and the joy that I'm experiencing on a daily basis, it's in large part from relationships like the one that we've developed. And it's just been truly like a great experience, and it has made all of the bad, I think, worth enduring, because the gifts from friends like you have been really significant.
Oh, thank
Is
you
there
for saying that.
Yeah,
I'm so
of
happy
course.
to.
Do you think, whenever you think about the way our friendship has evolved, if you think about the way that you engage with other folks and what your expectations of other people are, do you think any of that has shifted, or maybe you have a different set of expectations for how people that you care about, how they show up in your life?
I'm not sure that the expectations have changed because I I'm like a big believer that you have to do a lot of inner work for anything major to change that is coming out of me. And yes, people surrounding me would have some impact on that. It's important who you're surrounding yourself with, but it's it's also like the expectations are not going to change as long as I hold on to my core beliefs, whether they're good or not, right? So
Right.
I think it's a mix of things. Like the expectations have lowered, and that's a good thing. I had very high expectations from myself and everybody around, but it's not, I can't just directly say this is because of you or because of anybody else.
Sure.
It's a combination of factors, right? Like a lot of people around me, you are a major part of it, and how you look at life, it's, I think the word is infectious.
I've heard that once or
Yeah.
twice.
Like it is, but I have also been going to therapy and doing a ton of inner work that is helping any parts of me that grew up having those. expectations and understanding that, okay, that might not stay so true to the adult version of me.
Yeah,
It's time to change that for the benefit
I
of
love that.
myself and other people, right? Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And knowing your story like I do, I can actually see like all of those things coming to life before my eyes with all of the work you do, both inside and outside of the place that we both work
Yeah.
at. So I love seeing all of that kind of come to fruition through the things that you share on LinkedIn, your thoughts on leadership, all of the ideas that we both have that intertwine so well together. Every episode of Dying Out Loud, we take a moment to express just a little bit of a message that is personal from me to you, and this episode is no different. So I would love to just share something with you that I may not have said out loud enough, and that is an extreme heartfelt thank you.
Mm.
You have truly been a consistent reminder to me that I still have a place at work, not just as a coworker, but as an authentic, whole human being. You have not only made room for my grief and my gratitude, but also for my crazy sense of humor and my heartbreak. And it's interesting because I feel like you had seen the whole me and you didn't flinch from what you saw. And the way that you've listened, you've laughed, you've supported me, and really just the way you show up for me, it has absolutely changed who I am. You've been a lifeline in moments when I felt like I didn't have anyone else that would fully understand both the work and personal influences on me, and even been a mirror that reminded me who I still am, and more importantly, who I am still becoming. I don't think there's a spreadsheet, a project, or any performance metric that could ever measure the depth of what that has meant to me. And if I can just leave one thing with you today, it would be this: you matter to me more than you know. And I truly love you for the light that you have brought to my life. So, again, thank you. Thank you for standing with me, for walking beside me, and ultimately just for being one of my people.
Mm.
I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. That was so
Yeah,
beautiful. Thank you. And I'm
thanks.
so happy to
And
continue doing this forever until
you and I both.
when you peacefully pass at the age of 100, because you are basically cancer free by now. So when that happens, I'm very happy to stay with you until that day.
I love it. I love it. And I you. So
Thank you.
it, it certainly begs the question. You hear so many people say things about making friends at work and work should be separate from your personal life. But I'm interested to get your thoughts on why you think nurturing friendships at work could be an important thing for you or for anybody that's listening.
I think that's like a very common concept, right? That, oh, don't mix work with your personal life. And as much as we try to, emotions seep through anyway, because it's we are not robots going to work. And I think that it's a really important thing to unlearn, because if you are not able to show up as you are, no matter where you are, right? And we don't like, we need to learn not to, I'm missing the word, not to like label emotions as bad, basically. Like, not to say that,
Yeah.
oh, if you are crying at work, you're weak. Or if these are preconceived like the like ideas that they don't stand true. They never stood, right? Like they were never true, but especially nowadays, it's not true. You showing up as your authentic self, will get you friends no matter where you are. And having somebody who has your back at work is like priceless. Priceless. Yes, that's
Yeah,
positive, right?
absolutely.
Priceless.
Yep.
And having friends outside of work is also priceless. So if you can combine the two and get people out from work and transfer them to your personal life, that's a win-win on every aspect. So I'm very grateful for your friendship inside and outside. Like it doesn't make a difference to me. Like it just because you're at work, I'm not going to put up walls because why
Right.
would I? And I think a lot of people get scared because it's you can use the information against me. And we live in a
Yeah.
world when there that can be weaponized, right? Like your
Of course.
vulnerability and your openness and oh, you told me this, so now I'm gonna go to your manager because I want to get the promotion. I'm sorry to say, but that's actually a reflection of that person's character. And that doesn't matter whether it's at work or outside of work. That actually shows their character. So it's the question
Agreed.
isn't work or life. The question is who do you decide to be?
Yeah. I love that. It
And be
absolutely.
consistent.
It's all about how you show up
Yeah.
every day. If you were giving advice to anyone that is listening today, what would you encourage them to do in regards to anything that we've chatted about?
That show up every day with gratitude. Try to express it at least once a day. Make that a habit to express gratitude to people around you for things that you are, who you are, your health, your family, the support that you're getting, all the things that we take for granted and we forget to actually appreciate, to show up with that like an open heart and don't be afraid to be yourself because that is your strongest skill basically. You can only be the best of you, nobody else. So
That's right.
yeah,
You are your own superhero. And
yeah,
if you show up and embrace all the things that make you a unique, dynamic individual, that's the best way to show up for yourself or for anybody else. And it truly, as I think about especially our relationship and how it has evolved and the things that we've been able to do together inside work and how we really have been able, I think, to produce some just amazing outcomes on our based on our cooperation, our ability to collaborate and just relate to each other. It has really fueled, it's definitely fueled my life outside of work, but it has also fueled my life inside of work as well.
yeah.
So I think that's great advice. Showing up as your authentic self, bring every one of those random, silly, crazy skills and attributes that make you uniquely you, and let everybody see. And your picture might not look just like mine. It might not be a crazy, ugly mess of health and insanity, but it's important that people get to see who you really are. And once they do, that's inviting them in for that connection.
And whoever is not invited in, then you know that it's better not to have that person around.
Absolutely. Protect that space because relationships are special, regardless of it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship. Relationships mean everything.
Yeah. And I have one more thought that just came to
Yes,
mind. Like
please.
words have power. So I think you are at the perfect example that I believe strongly that the reason you are thriving, not just alive, but thriving is because of the words that come out of your mouth every month and every day and every situation, because you're so positive and you're so alive, right? And you actually believe that. So your body will believe it, right? So it just keeps
Love that.
going regardless of what's happening and it keeps fighting off whatever is happening inside, right? And your numbers were like going down. So you're cancer on the way to cancer free. And I think and you just continue doing that, you will outlive us all.
And that, folks, is something that I will not argue with. So, as we wrap up today, I just want to thank everybody for being here, you especially, Julia. Thanks to everyone who's listening. And thank you all for being a part of this ripple of love and gratitude. If today's conversation moved you, if something inside you is stirring right now, that's your heart reminding you that you're still alive. Please don't let this just be another podcast episode that you finish and toss aside. Use this as a spark that moves you to call someone that you love. Tell someone that they matter to you. Thank someone or tell them that you're proud of them. If you owe someone an apology, let's make that happen today. And maybe you just need to forgive someone. You can do that too. Whatever is unfinished inside you, finish it now. None of us get forever. All of us get this moment, this heartbeat, and this breath. So, this is me telling you to take advantage of that opportunity, to use it. And above all, don't just live, but live out loud. Keep showing up for yourself, keep showing up for others. The entire world needs your presence. And when you do show up, it is oh so much better. Julia, before we hit the end record button, any last words for our listeners?
Thank you for showing up. And I hope that you can embrace your authenticity.
Love that. Folks, don't wait. Say the damn thing already and always love out loud. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.